After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Give me leave to go to my homeland. Let me have my wives for whom I serve you, and my children too, that I may depart. You know very well the service that I have rendered you." Laban answered him, "If you will, please. I have learned through divination that it is because of you that God has blessed me." So he continued, "State what wages you want from me, and I will pay them." Jacob replied, "You know what work I did for you, and how well your livestock fared under my care. The little you had before I came has grown into very much, since the Lord's blessings came upon you in my company. Therefore I should now do something for my own household as well." "What should I pay you?" Laban asked. Jacob answered, "You do not have to pay me anything outright. I will again pasture and tend your flock, if you do this one thing for me. Go through your whole flock today, and remove from it every dark animal among the sheep, and every spotted or speckled one among the goats. Only such animals shall be my wages. In the future, whenever you check on these wages of mine, let my honesty testify against me. Any animal in my possession that is not a speckled or spotted goat or a dark sheep got there by theft." "Very well," agreed Laban. "Let it be as you say." That same day Laban removed and streaked and spotted he-goats and all the speckled and spotted she-goats, all those with some white on them, as well as the fully dark-colored sheep. These he left in charge of his sons. Then he put a 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to pasture the rest of Laban's flock. Jacob, however, got some fresh shoots of poplar, almond, and plane trees, and he made white stripes in them by peeling off the bark down to the white core of the shoot. The rods that he had thus peeled he then set upright in the watering troughs, so that they would be in front of the animals that drank from the troughs. When the animals were in heat as they came to drink, the goats mated by the rods, and so they brought forth streaked, speckled, and spotted kids. The sheep, on the other hand, Jacob kept apart, and he set these animals to face the streaked or fully dark-colored animals of Laban. Thus he produced special flocks of his own, which he did not put with Laban's flock. Moreover, whenever the hardier animals were in heat, Jacob would set the rods in the troughs in full view of these animals, so that they mated by the rods. But with the weaker animals he would not put the rods there. So the feeble animals would go to Laban, but the sturdy ones to Jacob. Thus the man grew increasingly prosperous, and he came to own not only large flocks but also male and female servants, and camels and asses. Jacob learned that Laban's sons were saying, "Jacob has taken everything that belonged to our father, and he has accumulated all this wealth of his by using our father's property." Jacob perceived too that Laban's attitude toward him was not what it had previously been. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your fathers where you were born, and I will be with you." So Jacob sent for Rachel and Leah to meet him where he was in the field with his flock. There he said to them, "I have noticed that your father's attitude toward me is not as it was in the past, but the God of my father has been with me. You will know what effort I put into serving your father, yet your father cheated me and changed my wages time after time. God, however, did not let him do me any harm. Whenever your father said, 'The speckled animal shall be your wages,' the interflock would bear speckled young. Whenever he said, 'The streaked animal shall be your wages,' the interflock would bear streaked young. Thus God reclaimed your father's livestock and gave it to me. Once in the breeding season I had a dream in which I saw mating he-goats that were streaked, speckled, and mottled. In the dream God's messenger called to me, 'Jacob.' 'Here,' I replied. Then he said, 'Note well, all the he-goats in the flock as they mate are streaked, speckled, and mottled, for I have seen all the things that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God who appeared to you in Bethel, where you anointed a memorial stone and made a vow to me. Up then, leave this land and return to the land of your birth.' Rachel and Leah answered him, "Have we still an heir's portion in our father's house? Are we not regarded by him as outsiders? He not only sold us, he has even used up the money that he got for us. All the wealth that God reclaimed from our father really belongs to us and our children. Therefore, do just as God has told you." Jacob proceeded to put his children and wives on camels, and he drove off with all his livestock and all the property he had acquired in Paddan Aram to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. Now Laban had gone away to shear his sheep, and Rachel had meanwhile appropriated her father's household idols. Jacob had hoodwinked Laban the Aramean by not telling him of his intended flight. Thus he made his escape with all that he had. Once he was across the Euphrates, he headed for the highlands of Gilead.